Hey, Maps and Mittens. Something a little different today. We're in my living room, chilling out. And I thought the living room would be the best place for this vlog, because I'm going to be talking about the Halo show. Now it's Halo month. This was my month, and in terms of the games, I've pretty much already experienced everything Halo has to offer. But I hadn't watched that show yet. You know, the show that was like pushed back for years, and then finally got a thing on. I remember like it was supposed to come out on like a few different services, I think, and then it finally got pushed on Paramount Plus. Which, by the way, I hate how many streaming services there are. Somebody, please make it stop. Um, so I hadn't watched this show yet, and currently nobody else on the channel, talking Teddy or Spencer, I don't think they've watched it, and I don't think they're gonna talk about it. We've recorded every episode except for the live game talk. So, as far as I know, I'm safe. If I'm not safe and Spencer or somebody talks about this damn show during the live episode, sorry, but I'm here and I'm going to talk about it. At the time of recording, I've only watched season 1. So, this is strictly my opinion on season 1 of the show, which, from what I've heard, is the worst one. People say season 2 is a lot better, which, good. I've been a big Xbox fan basically my entire life. I don't pick sides when it comes to console wars. I play games, you know. If a console exists and it has something to offer, I like to experience it. You know, here's my Xbox controller. I'll even make the thing green. Isn't that cool? I can change the color of the button thing. It's green for Halo. So we could talk about fucking Halo show. Whew, man. So I'm of the opinion that Halo wasn't ever really about the story, at least until about Halo 4, and even then the story wasn't really good. Like there was a story throughout the original games, and you can argue 3 ODST and Reach had, you know, decent plots. But Halo 1, 2, and 3, the stories were fine, but they felt like an excuse for a game. You know, it was like, oh shit, there's a big ring, go explore it. Oh, Halo 2 is basically like, it starts out with a war, then it's like, oh, there's another ring, go do that again. And then Halo 3 is like, oh, the Ark or whatever, you get to, you know, end this big war, and which didn't end, you know, but still. They felt like vehicles for the gameplay, which is fine. That's what a video game needs to do. So with the Halo show, season 1, they decided to kind of kick that out the door and do their own thing narratively that would work for a television show, which I don't think is a bad idea. The story of a game may not always work for a show or a movie. I'm okay with some change, you know, as long as there's some core identity there that still makes it feel like Halo. I am cool with that. So, before I get into my thoughts about the show, I'll give you a basic rundown of the first season. Spoiler alert, if you have not watched the first season, stop watching here. If you're not going to watch it, here we go. So, the first season starts with a bunch of rebels on a planet called Madrigal. And this is honestly the most boring part of the show for me. It focuses in on a girl named Kwan Ha, who actually I don't think is an awful character. Her dad runs this rebel faction on this planet called Madrigal. It's attacked by the Covenant. The Covenant come and they kill the entire faction and even like a room full of children, which is nuts. And Kwan Ha is the only survivor. During the battle, Spartans show up, including Master Chief. And they have a epic showdown. It's cool. Like when I first saw it, the monkey with the symbols in my brain was like, Halo things. Like Master Chief landed and did a cool like land, and you know I saw him with like the battle rifle, and like whenever he took damage, the like HUD went and you saw like the thing in his visor. You know, like there was some cool elements there. Like the Covenant had like the energy swords. I was like, this is Halo. Upon rewatching that scene, there's some questionable choreography there. Like there's a scene where one of the grunts hits a truck and it flips the wrong way. Like he hits it on impact and it flips towards him, which makes no sense. There's some questionable choices there, but overall, I can let it go. It was a fun action scene. Um, so they are on Madrigal, trying to figure out why the Covenant were there in the first place, and they find this artifact thing in like a cave, and Master Chief touches it, and he sees some visions, and from there, the Quan Ha girl ends up going with Master Chief back to Reach. To UNSC HQ, and that's the first episode. And I'm not gonna do every episode. I'll just do a basic summary here. That first episode introduces Master Chief and Quan Ha, which are going to be main characters of the season, and the artifact, which is important. And the next episode, you meet Rowan, not Rodan. That's Rodan. Rodan's badass. He's from Godzilla. Roran, I think I forgot the guy's name. I'll put the name up. He's a fucking Spartan that ran away. Because at the end of the first episode, Master Chief and Quan Ha, after finding out they're gonna kill Quan Ha when they bring her back to the HQ, Master Chief like runs away, and you meet him on the second episode, and he's like an outlaw guy, like a pirate, like a space pirate. So yeah, those are your three main characters of the first season. And from there, the stories don't really intertwine. The stuff with Master Chief is basically like, how do I even set this up? Oh yeah. Oh, and I forgot. There's a girl that works for the Covenant that can also interact with these artifacts things. You find out their keys for the Halo. So she's like a human girl that's been working with the Covenant. They like took her when she was a kid off this like trash planet, which is awesome, by the way. I didn't know there was a trash planet. Look, I don't know much about the Halo extended universe. I never read the stupid books. If you have read the stupid books, congratulations. I'll give you a round of applause right here. Congratulations. But I haven't. So yeah. So the rest of the season is basically Master Chief, who, by the way, is not in his helmet most of the season. He's a guy. He just looks like a guy, which kind of ruins the certain part of the element of the character. But, you know, I felt like they could have kept his helmet on, done it like the Mandalorian, where he had to, but fine, whatever, I don't care. Master Chief was never a character anyway, so fine. He was just a guy for you to like project your stuff onto. It's like a Link. It's like I can't say like, oh man, they're gonna ruin the character of Link. Link doesn't have a character. Master Chief doesn't have a character, so I don't care. Did I like his character in the show? Not really. In the show, he basically he keeps having these flashbacks of while touching the artifact, which he finds out are like his childhood. There's some drama with him and Dr. Halsey because he finds out like she took kids and like erased their memories to make the Spartan program. The things that are key to the Halo. Dr. Halsey creates Cortana, so she's on the show too. And the other girl working for the Covenant infiltrates and kind of gets close to Master Chief, and there's like a big showdown at the end, and Dr. Halsey like gets in trouble for cloning and not cloning. Well, actually, she did clone. She took kids from their homes, cloned them, put them back into their homes, so their parents didn't realize they were missing, and then the clones were set to die, so they would like naturally die within like a few months. So then like those kids just never existed beyond that point. So a lot of stuff going on there, and there's some other Spartans. I think their names are Riz, Vanek, and I don't remember the fourth one. Tiffany. Let's just call her Tiffany. I'll put her name up. It's definitely not Tiffany. And they're there, and the UNSC and Halsey don't get along, and there's a bunch of drama there. Basically, a whole lot of nothing happens this season, except for the realization that Halsey isn't cool, and the Spartans were a program that wasn't cool, and Cortana exists now. In terms of the stuff with Quan Ha and Rodan, Dan from Full House. Yeah, they she wants the planet of Madrigal is taken over by some cartoonishly evil guy. She wants to like gather some troops and that her father knew, and like fucking whatever, stop it. Pirate guy is there to help, I guess. There's a big shootout and stuff. It was nothing. I don't know why they felt the need to introduce that element of the show. And I'm terrified because I've only watched one episode of the new season, and they're both in the first episode. And I was kind of scared because I'm like, damn it, I'm stuck with these other characters that I don't really care about. Maybe the second season will actually make me care about them, but like they're fine characters, but they just feel like they felt like secondary Star Wars characters, you know, like the characters from like Rogue One that you just didn't give a shit about, but they were gonna die anyway, you know. And even then, they somehow made Andor a cool character in his own show, so not all things from Rogue One were lost, you know? But these guys, these two characters just don't feel important to me. I don't think it's a good show, at least the first season. Again, I haven't finished or watched the second season. If you have, please do not spoil it for me, because I do want to check the comments for this upload, and I don't want to know anything about the second season. So if you know things about the second season, do not tell me. If I see spoilers, I will just delete the comment, even if it's fake. Even if Terry goes on there and tells me that Master Chief loses a foot, I'm gonna delete his comment. Because I don't want spoilers. Because even if the show isn't great, I'm still enjoying watching it. Like, which is a concept some people don't understand. Some people are like, "Oh man, it's so terrible." Like I told like a friend of mine that I was watching the Halo show, and he's like, "Oh my god, I'm sorry," and I'm like, "Why? Why are you sorry?" Like I'm watching a piece of entertainment, and even if it's good or not, it's still entertaining me. Like that's its job, right? Like. Just because I don't think it's great doesn't mean you have to like apologize, you know. So yeah, the first season isn't great. I do think there's some cool moments. I think the design of the show is fantastic. It looks like Halo, like the world and stuff. Like they got everything down pretty good. The sounds, the costume designs, you know, the characters look like they're supposed to look like. Outside of Master Chief not being in his Spartan armor most of the time he's kind of brooding around in regular clothes, or like his like not regular clothes, but like his like suit, it's like body suit. So I get it. But yeah, I like that element. The action is okay. Like I said, the choreography can be a little stupid. I don't know who did the choreography for the show, but hopefully they fired them by the second season and got somebody else. Who knows? I like seeing the Covenant, seeing the different like characters, like the elites and the grunts and the jackals and the brutes and even the prophets. Like it's very cool seeing all that on screen. There was even a cool scene with the girl that's like helping the Covenant that I didn't expect. In the games, I think they're called the Hunters. Yeah, the Hunters, the big dudes you fight in like Halo 1 and stuff. They're like multiple snake creatures put together. And there's actually a scene where they utilize that, where like the Hunters like go full snake form and like infiltrate, and like she takes out a bunch of UNSC soldiers that way. It was cool. Like that was cool. That was a cool idea. Like I never saw the game do that, you know, or if it did, I don't fucking remember it, you know. And I just replayed all these damn games, so yeah, I don't remember seeing that at all. Like that's a cool thing that like neat. Like you're actually utilizing something from the show, you know, from the game for the show. So that was cool. It's just got some really awful writing, some really weird setups. So when they're creating Cortana, which they've talked about before in the games, when they're creating Cortana, they had to like clone Dr. Halsey and then like extract her brain goo through her eye with a syringe, which was hard to watch, by the way, and then put that syringe in Master Chief, and then I don't know. That's how they did it in the show, but in the games, it still says that like she was made from a clone of Dr. Halsey. The way it was portrayed in the show was neat, but there was a weird thing. She has a lab assistant. I don't know his name. It could also be Roden, for all I know. And there's a scene where, like, it's her clone, and they're, like, discussing, like, she's talking to her clone, and, like, the clone's like, oh, so you found out how to do it? Because, like, a clone is her, so it's like, you found out how to make Cortana? Oh, yes, I did. Oh, that's why you want my brain, right? Blah, blah, blah. And then after they, like, go through this whole talk, they're initiating the process. And clone Halsey is, like, strapped to a table, and they're about to extract her brain and kill her. And there's a weird scene where lab assistant guy is like, other Halsey isn't in the room yet, and lab assistant guy is like leaning over clone Halsey and is like wants to give her a big old kiss. And then as soon as Halsey comes in, he's like straightens back up, and they never touch this again. I don't know who wrote this in, like who was like, yes, we have to have an awkward kissing or rape scene with this guy. Like he wants to kiss this clone while she's strapped to a table and she can't move. Maybe in the second season they'll expand upon that, because again, those characters are like still around. They're gone. Like they escaped the UNSC. And they're like on the run, but they're still around. So who knows? Maybe they're like a thing. I don't know. But they never touched that again. And I was like, what the hell was that? Why did you put that in the show? Yeah, there's just little things like that where I'm like, why did you include that? Like, did this need to be included? Did this flesh out the world at all? Did this do? So I'm torn on the show. I had fun watching it, and I'm still having fun watching the second season. But I don't think it's very good. I feel about the same way as I did with that Resident Evil Netflix show, where I think there's cool elements. I think as a fan, there's things you can watch and enjoy. But overall, if somebody said, is Halo a good show? I would tell them no, but it's fun. It's fun, and it kept me entertained. I just wish they trim some of the fat, get rid of those two other characters. I think the first season's 9 episodes. That could have been 6. That could have easily been 6 episodes. They could have done closer to like what the Marvel TV shows do, where sometimes, like, I think that newer show Echo on Marvel, which, don't get me wrong, I don't think the shows have been the greatest either, but that Echo show did something or like even Obi-Wan did something I respected, and they were like, they were both 5 episodes long. Like, they didn't outstay their welcome, which I feel like that's what they should have done with this. They should have really just focused in on the key aspects that mattered, and not padded it out with this weird political magical stuff. But yeah, so this is my vlog for Halo month, and I don't think I get to do another one until mini month. So I don't get to follow up and tell you guys what I thought about season 2. So maybe if you're curious about that, I will talk about it during the podcast at some point. Leave a comment or a question on Game Talk or something, and it's, maybe I'll just bring it up at some point. But yeah, if you're interested in the Halo show, I would say check it out, but don't go into it expecting much. Go into it expecting a dumb, campy, fun show, and you should be all right. Yeah. Hope you guys are enjoying Halo month. I am. I wish I had a way to end this. I'm just sitting in my living room. You want you push the button again? Woo! How do I do it?
Hey y'all, don't forget to subscribe to them button mappers.